So to get started, take about a 5-inch piece of fresh horseradish. This is something you can find at the farmer's market. You can find it in a lot of the produce sections of grocery stores these days, or take a look at a specialty market, but you really want to start with fresh. The flavor is all in the fresh. So I have about a 5-inch piece. I'm dicing it into, I'd say a half-inch dice here. The idea is to expose as much of the really flavorful root to the cider. It can be a little tough, so just know that. Very fibrous root, but oh, the flavor, so delicious. There we go. So this should be about half a cup diced. The smell is incredible, really, really fresh. So load everything into a large ball jar. You just kind of layer everything as you go. To that, add fresh ginger. Love ginger. This is so great the cooler weather months. It just sort of cures everything. I have about half a cup thinly sliced. This started with about 2 4-inch pieces. Again, gotta go fresh here. This is where all the flavor is. I told you this wasn't for the faint of heart. I wasn't joking. I have 1 head of garlic, just peeled. Don't want to pulverize it, just give it a little smash. What this does is help release all those really flavorful essential oils. Into the jar we go. To that, add some fresh herbs. I'm using fresh rosemary here. The great thing about this fire cider is that you can customize it to whatever your tastes are. If you like thyme, add that. I like rosemary, just something with a nice assertive flavor. Sort of tuck those guys in. To that, you need some heat, right? It's not fire cider unless it's got a little bit of heat. Add 2 small jalapenos and then just slice them in half lengthwise. Again, this just exposes the really nice component of the pepper to the vinegar, and that's where all the flavor is. 1 teaspoon of whole black peppercorns will add a nice mild heat. 2 cinnamon sticks, in they go. And then 1/2 of a small onion. Shoot for about, I don't know, 1/2-inch dice here. In we go. All right, same with the lemon. Go ahead and give it a roll just to make sure you get all those delicious juices going. And I'm shooting for about 1-inch, 1.5-inch pieces of lemon as well. Okay. So lemon's in. It's a little bit of a tight squeeze, but just give a little press. Surely we'll be able to fit our orange. Just half an orange here. Shooting for a similar size slice as the lemon. Now I'm using a navel orange here. If you happen to have the blood oranges, I think those are really tasty here. You could also use a couple of small mandarins or clementines, whatever citrus you happen to have around. Okay. I think we're gonna make this work. You do want to have a nice, snug layer. If you love these healthy tonics, make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel. So I have 2 cups of raw apple cider vinegar. Depending on the size of your jar, you may need a little bit more. The idea is that all of these ingredients are fully submerged for their long winter nap. Looks like this is gonna work. Well, what do you know? I think that's good. I'm gonna add just 1 more splash, just for good measure. There we go. I'm using a glass ball jar here, and it just has the little rubber gasket. If you're using a ball jar that has any sort of aluminum on the top, make sure you cut a piece of parchment to protect the vinegar from the aluminum. Sometimes you get an unpleasant reaction with the flavor. So seal this up, give it a good shake. Store this in a cool, dark spot in your kitchen, just sort of tucked away somewhere. Give it a shake about every day or so if you remember, and before you know it, you're gonna have delicious fire cider. You guys are gonna have to wait 3 to 6 weeks, but I have a swap here. So let's get this strained so you can see the finished result. So just set up a large strainer in a glass measuring cup, and then you can sort of alternate between pushing back the solids and letting the now infused cider come through. But you want to make sure you get every last drop. All right, that looks pretty good. Again, same thing here, just press, press, press. All right. So the vinegar would be a little bracing on its own, which is why we're gonna add some honey to it just to round out the flavor. This is 1/3 cup honey. You can add more or less to taste. Give this a good stir. So I like to drink fire cider just as a small little shot. You can also serve this on ice with a little bit of seltzer. I think it pairs really nicely with lemonade if you want a little bit more of a tonic style drink. People heat this up and serve it as a hot tea. I think that's really, really nice in the cooler months. This is also one of my favorite things to include in a vinaigrette. So if you have vinegar, just replace all that vinegar with this really potent vinegar. Really adds a nice dimension. Okay, I think the honey is all dissolved. Let's give this a try. Whew! Very delicious, very invigorating. Make this your go-to immune boosting tonic. Enjoy.